Okay, so we've been working with building words, and in our word study group, we were actually building words that were real words, and we called them base words because they could stand alone, correct? And what were we adding to those base words? Who can remember what they call those things that we add to them? Blaze, what were we adding to them?
Suffixes and
I think Jacqueline's helping you.
Prefixes.
Prefixes. So where do you find a suffix? Kylie?
In the end of.
In the end of a word. And where do we find a prefix? Ben?
Beginning.
At the beginning of the word. And if we take those prefixes and suffixes, what happens when they put them with words? What happens to the meaning of that word? What happens, Ben?
It changes.
It changes a little bit. Yes.
Prefixes has a prefix and a suffix.
It does. And the reason I remember it is I always remember that pre is the beginning, so I remember that goes in the beginning of a word. Okay?
Yeah.
So we got a little bit more sophisticated than just words. So if I take a word and I add a suffix to it, who can give me an example of a suffix you could add to a word? Ben?
Ing.
Ing. We could add ing to a word. So if I have the word play, because that's a word, and I make it playing, what does the ing mean in playing? Go ahead, Ben.
It's happening right now.
It's happening right now. Excellent. Anything else? That's great. That's great. Can you think of another one, Jacqueline?
Played is you did it in the past.
Oh, so if you add ed to a word, it already happened. Played. Any other suffix we can add to play? That, Blaze?
Shun.
I don't know if we could do plation. It wouldn't make sense. Can you think of one, Kylie?
Played.
Played. That's what Jacqueline played.
Yes.
All right, but it wouldn't be es. It would just be.
S.
And if I say plays, it means if we're talking about a play like on Broadway, it would be more than.
Like it's will happen.
It's more than one, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm talking about he plays, we use that to make the subject and the verb agree, right? What happens if I said playful? What would happen to that, Kylie?
Full.
It means that you would be adding the full onto it, right? Excellent. All right, so we do that with words and we do that easily. But we got a little bit trickier. We decided to do it with something called a root. Now, is a root a real word? Or do you have to do something to it?
It can be.
What do you think, Kylie?
It can.
If what? If you add what?
If you add a prefix or something.
It can if you add a prefix or a suffix. Can you add more than one prefix or suffix?
Yes.
Excellent. So what we did was we took the root tract, and I had my picture that I used, right? It was the way I remembered it. And we said that tract is a root, and it means to draw or to pull. And then you all had an assignment to come up with some words that have tract in it. How did you make them? What did you do to make the words? What did you do to make the words? Blaze, what did you do?
My dad looked up tract on the computer, and then like we found words, and there was like there was like a sound button that like said the word, and like there were like sentences that like said the meaning of the word,
Okay.
and like sentences that have the word in it.
So you were
like,
using the
know what it
computer.
is. Yeah.
Did you do it a different way, Ben? How did you make the words?
I just sort of thought up some words that I think of, and then I'm just like, ooh, what's a word that I use a lot? And then I just put that. I do the easy ones early, and then as I can't think of more easy ones, I start to use my brain more and get harder and harder and harder.
Oh, wow. What did you do?
I used my
Your list? Did you use
my
the-
list, and I just looked at a bunch and saw if they made sense with the root word, and I just made a lot of words.
Is that what you did too, Jacqueline? Did you use your list? Because I see you have your list there.
Kind of.
Kind of. Did you have a different way of doing it?
Like making up the words. Like some words my mom tells me.
That's fine. Yes, that's fair. I think that's fair. So we made up a bunch of words that had the tract in it. Can you guys just give me a couple off your list? You want to tell me 2 or 3, Ben, that you have on your list?
Yeah. I have contraction,
Contraction, okay. And another one?
protractor,
Protractor. Can you give me one, Jacqueline?
Distracts.
Distracts. How about you, Kylie?
Contract.
Contract. These are all words that we use all the time, right? And now that if we understand the meaning of our prefixes and our suffixes, we can kind of figure out what they mean. So another thing that you did was you did something called drawn label, where you actually made a sentence to go along with your word. Do you want to share one, Jacqueline, that you did?
Polar bears have traction so they don't slip on ice.
Polar bears have traction so they don't slip on ice, and the traction would mean that it would do what for them?
It helps them walk so they don't slip.
Right, so it would pull them, right, from the ice. Ben, do you have one that you made up?
Yeah. For retraction, I did. Dad issued a retraction after saying water freezes at 34 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, because he was incorrect?
Yeah.
So the retraction meant that he pulled
Back and changed.
back and changed. Excellent. Do you have one, Kylie?
Yeah. Traction.
Okay.
The tires on the car lost their traction in the snow.
So what did the traction of the car do? What's it do? It pulls what?
It pulls the car.
Excellent, excellent. And then the other thing that I asked you to do was, this was my hook word. This helped me remember what tract means. That tractor is my hook word, and I took a picture with it. And I know that tractor means one who pulls. And I asked all of you to come up with a picture that helps you remember it. Can you share the pictures that you did, and can you explain them? Would you like to go first, Ben?
Sure, I am extract.
Okay.
It pulls the flavor into a recipe.
So it pulls the flavor into a recipe. And do you ever cook, Ben? Or,
Yes.
So you know about that, right?
Yeah.
What did you do, Jacqueline? Because yours is really interesting.
I did a tracted and it pulls the magnets.
It pulls the magnet. So if you're a magnet and you're attracted, it pulls the. What does magnets pull? You know what they pull?
Metal.
They pull metal. That's exactly right. What did you do, Blaze?
I did traction.
Traction.
It's pulling the car
Pulling the
or
car.
the truck.
Nice. And what did you do over here?
I did subtraction.
Subtraction. Wow, you have a prefix and a suffix there. Can you tell us about subtraction?
The process of taking a number or amount from another number.
And when we talked about that, Kylie, we said that the prefix sub means down or under. So how could you explain that with subtraction? If it means down or under.
It pulls the numbers
Pulls it down and makes it
a smaller number.
nice job. Well, I think you're doing a great job with this, so I would like to give you another root. Okay? So today, the root's going to be jacked. And jacked means to throw. And I'm going to just let you share this for a second. Jack means to throw. I like eject or ejection because it reminds, like a rocket reminds me of that, and that's what that's the picture that helps me remember it. But I'm going to ask you to come up with some words and some drawn label pictures, and I'm going to ask you to see which hook word helps you the best, and I can't wait to hear the ones that you have coming to us. Okay? Thank you so much. It's great.